St. Petersburg is a city of water. Water has guided the city's design and architecture. And for centuries, water has helped St. Petersburg to live and thrive. Water is a part of our everyday lives. What could be simpler than turning on a tap? But this apparent simplicity is the result of hard work by the team at St. Petersburg's VODOKANAL. VODOKANAL is responsible for supplying drinking water to the city's 5 million residents and tens of thousands of businesses. Collecting and purifying wastewater is another part of the company's work. VODOKANAL today is made up of 9 waterworks, 15 sewage treatment facilities, hundreds of pressurizers and pumping stations, 3 residue burning plants, and 2 sodium hypochlorite production plants. The company's water and sewage mains are over 15,000 kilometers in length. That's more than the diameter of the Earth. Every day, St. Petersburg gets 1,900,000 cubic meters of clean drinking water. When the city's first pipes were put into service a century and a half ago, only 17,000 cubic meters a day were distributed to what was then a smaller population.
VODOKANAL itself can trace its roots back to 10th of October 1858, when Russian Emperor Alexander II approved the charter of the St. Petersburg Waterworks Joint Stock Company. Before this, residents either lugged buckets or paid water carriers to do the work for them. In late 1863, water rushed down real piping for the first time. That said, the mains were not very impressive, at only 115 kilometers long. And the water that arrived in the city had undergone only crude mechanical purification. In effect, water went almost directly from the Neva River into people's homes. Purifying drinking water these days is a complicated process, for which VODOKANAL uses cutting-edge technologies. The Neva remains the main source of the city's water, just as it was 150 years ago. The difference is that today, water undergoes a lengthy process before reaching an apartment.
On the first step of its journey, it passes through water intakes, where crayfish are stationed. Crayfish joined the VODOKANAL crew in 2005 and work at all of the city's water intakes today. Their job is to check water for dangerous substances. It isn't particularly difficult work. They live their normal lives in an aquarium filled with water from the Neva River. Special sensors take heart readings from them in real time. If a crayfish encounters a dangerous substance, it reacts. Its heart begins to beat more quickly. The crayfish's stress index shoots up as well. As soon as this happens, a VODOKANAL dispatcher receives an alarm signal. This is our biomonitoring system, courtesy of research by St. Petersburg scientists at the Russian Academy of Sciences Research Center for Environmental Safety. After passing muster with the crayfish, water is then sent for treatment. Our new water processing unit at the Southern Waterworks allows us to compensate for all possible changes in the composition of the Neva's water. St. Petersburg boasts a unique system for water sterilization. First, we add reagents, sodium hypochlorite and ammonium sulfate. Then we use ultraviolet radiation.
For a century, St. Petersburg's water was purified with liquid chlorine. But chlorine is a dangerous chemical, and routinely storing and transporting hundreds of tons of chlorine posed a risk to the safety of St. Petersburg residents. Which is why VODOKANAL transitioned away from the chemical in 2009. Its replacement, sodium hypochlorite, is every bit as effective while removing any possible danger. Sodium hypochlorite is made from normal table salt in a special facility at a waterworks station. It does a brilliant job of killing waterborne bacteria. To beat viruses, VODOKANAL applies ultraviolet radiation. St. Petersburg was the first major city in the world to sterilize all drinking water with UV. According to federal health statistics, In 2004, there were dozens of times fewer cases of hepatitis A in St. Petersburg than previously.
Everyone in the city should always be able to get the amount and pressure of drinking water that they need. That's why VODOKANAL is the first in Russia to deploy a city-wide system for water supply management. During the initial stage, the system will be active in the southern zone. Pumps in southern stations have been replaced with more modern, energy-efficient models. Pressure meters have been installed and the system automatically adjusts based on their readings. Data on the amount of water pumped into the system and the amount of water received by users is exchanged in real time. This allows damage to pipe infrastructure to be minimized and energy use to be slashed by 30%. Most importantly, the quality of the water supply service has improved.
St. Petersburg has a multi-stage system for monitoring the quality of drinking water. Monitoring is carried out at all stages: at intake, purification, when pumped from the station, and during distribution. Water samples are tested for 83 indicators. Independent third-party monitoring is provided by the Water Research and Monitoring Center and the Russian Federal Service for Consumer Rights and Human Welfare. Their studies have shown that the city's drinking water meets all standards and is safe to drink.
The average person in St. Petersburg uses 160 litres of water per day. After all this water is used, VODOKANAL needs to clean it and return it to the environment. Wastewater from homes, businesses, hospitals and daycare centres is sent to collectors and from there to sewage treatment facilities. On the right bank of the city, this means the central sewage collector, also called the northern collector. The collector is a complex of intricate engineering which has undergone major construction in recent years. When the collector is completed in 2013, over 98% of St. Petersburg wastewater will undergo purification. Compare this to 1978, when the corresponding figure was 0. The city's wastewater was not cleaned at all, but simply dumped raw into the Neva and Gulf of Finland.
But it is not just quantity that is important. It is essential that we perform high-quality purification to maintain the environment, and so our sewage treatment facilities use state-of-the-art equipment and technologies. We thoroughly remove phosphorus and nitrogen from St. Petersburg wastewater before it is discharged. It is those two chemicals that, when dumped in the Baltic Sea, stimulate the growth of blue-green algae and choke the Baltic's marine ecosystem. In June 2011, St. Petersburg announced full implementation of the recommendations of the Helsinki Commission, which works to protect Baltic water quality. Since then, the concentration of phosphorus in city wastewater discharge has not exceeded 0.5 milligrams per litre. Special devices are an important component of our system for discharge monitoring, but they are not the only one. Biomonitoring plays a part here too. Yes, the crayfish.
Once purified, water is sent back to the Gulf of Finland, but residue is left over from the purification process. St. Petersburg is the first major city in the world to completely resolve the problem of residue elimination. It is incinerated at 3 plants, at the central and northern aeration stations and at the southwestern purification plant. After incineration, the residue becomes ordinary, odourless ash. And as a pleasant side benefit, incineration provides heat and generates electricity as well, reducing VODOKANAL's power bill. The residue incinerating plants operate in full compliance with applicable Russian and European environmental legislation. This is verified by yet more of VODOKANAL's valued employees, snails. Our snails breathe a mixture of fumes and normal air. When the snails feel good, we know that the plants are working properly.
Satellite imagery of the Baltic Sea shows that today, the Gulf of Finland is practically free of blue-green algae. This is the result of an enormous amount of work in St. Petersburg, with the help of the federal and city governments as well as international partners. Technological solutions are all well and good for protecting the Baltic, Gulf of Finland, and Neva. But there is another component, reorienting the public's attitude towards nature from that of consumption to that of stewardship. Water consumption needs to be a conscious, careful choice. Environmental education is therefore one of VODOKANAL's biggest areas of activity. A children's environmental centre has been active at the company since 2002. Over 350,000 children have benefited from its classes and projects. Now they know why water is a precious resource, and they have shared this lesson with their parents and friends. The Children's Environmental Centre is built to be interactive and get children involved through playing, experimenting and discussing. There is no rote memorization, just critical thinking and independent decision-making. Another jewel in VODOKANAL's crown is the universe of water. The museum's first two exhibitions opened in an old water tower in 2003, commemorating St. Petersburg's 300th anniversary. And for VODOKANAL's 150th birthday in 2008, the company opened the Universe of Water multimedia exhibition. In a former reservoir that once stored clean water for the city, the public can now learn about water and ponder its complexities.
We may not know all of water's secrets, but we can and must provide St. Petersburg with clean drinking water and collect and purify it after use. Modern technology and new equipment have accompanied VODOKANAL's success, but they are not the reason for it. Our company's foremost asset is our people. VODOKANAL's staff makes the company what it is. We have a unique system for staff training. Professional Academy number 89 in St. Petersburg is a strategic partner for the company. The Academy trains future VODOKANAL staff. We also partner with leading institutes and universities in related fields. Continuing education programs broaden the skill set of all employees, from crews on the ground to top executives. VODOKANAL also puts on dozens of annual competitions at which employees can demonstrate their skills. In concert with the Science and Business Park of the Finnish city of Lahti, VODOKANAL is co-organizer of the International Advanced Water Technologies Centre. VODOKANAL is constantly forging ahead. Responsibility to our customers, to our employees, and to future generations is our watchword. And we know that the best in VODOKANAL's history is still to come.